In the middle of Hollywood's constant glare, a quieter but powerful story has begun to circulate. Timothée Chalamet, one of the most carefully image-managed actors of his generation, is reportedly drawing firm boundaries when it comes to the Kardashian family drama. The move is subtle, but its impact could be massive. Because when a private, prestige-driven actor steps into the orbit of the most media-savvy family on the planet, every decision suddenly matters. Before we go deeper, drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Do you think setting boundaries in a high-profile relationship is smart, or is it a red flag? Hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the latest celebrity news shaping pop culture today. The Kardashian name isn't just a family brand. It's a global media machine built on visibility, access, and storytelling that never sleeps. For more than a decade, their lives have unfolded in front of cameras, audiences, and headlines worldwide. Timothée Chalamet, on the other hand, has built his career on a very different philosophy. Selective interviews, minimal social media presence, and a strong separation between his personal life and his artistic identity. That contrast is exactly where this story begins. Sources close to the situation suggest that Chalamet is not trying to create conflict or distance for the sake of ego. Instead, he is focused on protecting the core of his relationship with Kylie Jenner. He reportedly believes that too much exposure, especially exposure driven by family dynamics and reality TV-style narratives, can quietly erode authenticity. For him, love should exist away from constant interpretation. This tension didn't appear overnight. Observant fans have noticed something unusual over the past several months. Timothee is rarely seen at large Kardashian family gatherings. There are no heavily publicized group appearances. No casual cameos and behind-the-scenes content. No social media breadcrumbs tying him into the larger Kardashian ecosystem. In a family where visibility is often the norm, his absence speaks volumes. Behind closed doors, insiders say there were honest and mature conversations between Timothee and Kylie. Chalamet reportedly made it clear that he wants their relationship to stand on its own, without being absorbed into the Kardashian narrative cycle. He wants to be Kylie's partner, not a recurring character in a broader family storyline. This is where the story becomes even more intriguing. Kylie Jenner is said to understand his position more than many people realize. Having grown up under relentless public scrutiny, she knows firsthand how fame can distort reality. Past relationships of hers often played out under intense media pressure, sometimes becoming headlines before they became memories. This time, sources say, Kylie is choosing calm over chaos. Still, choosing privacy inside the Kardashian universe is no small challenge. Every silence invites speculation. Every absence sparks theories. Fans and media alike begin to fill in the gaps with assumptions. Is this boundary a sign of tension? Or is it a sign of emotional maturity? Midway through this story, here's the real question that keeps audiences watching. Can a relationship survive, and even thrive, when it refuses to perform for the public? Cultural analysts argue that Chalamet's approach may actually be strategic. By maintaining distance from family drama, he preserves his professional image as a serious actor focused on craft, not celebrity spectacle. In an industry where overexposure can dilute credibility, restraint can be a powerful tool. At the same time, the public appetite for Kardashian-related stories is endless. When something feels intentionally private, interest often intensifies. Ironically, by setting boundaries, Timothée Chalamet may be making his relationship with Kylie Jenner even more fascinating to watch. Now the narrative reaches its turning point. This isn't just about one couple. It's about control, identity, and how modern celebrity relationships are evolving. Timothée Chalamet is signaling that love does not have to be content. That intimacy does not need constant validation. And that even in the loudest family in pop culture, silence can be a statement. As the media continues to speculate, one thing is clear. Behind the headlines, two people are trying to write their own story, on their own terms. Whether these boundaries will strengthen their bond or create long-term distance remains to be seen. But the decision itself has already changed the conversation. So now it's your turn. Do you think Timothée Chalamet's decision to set boundaries will protect his relationship with Kylie Jenner, or put it under more pressure than ever? Share your opinion in the comments, stay tuned for the latest updates, and don't forget to subscribe for deeper, sharper celebrity news you won't hear anywhere else. And the pressure is only increasing. As global attention grows, insiders say this boundary setting is becoming a defining feature of the relationship itself. In an era where celebrity couples are often expected to monetize intimacy through reality TV arcs, brand tie-ins, and carefully staged authentic moments, Chalamet's refusal to fully step into that system feels almost radical. It challenges the unspoken rule that proximity to the Kardashian brand comes with total access. People close to the actor describe him as deeply aware of narrative control. Not control in the sense of manipulation, but in authorship. He understands how stories are shaped, how headlines evolve, and how quickly a private moment can be reframed into a public spectacle. By drawing boundaries early, he is reportedly attempting to prevent future misunderstandings that could spiral into permanent labels. Hollywood has seen this pattern before. When partners become extensions of a powerful media family, individuality can slowly disappear. Careers become footnotes. Personalities flatten into archetypes. Chalamet, whose career trajectory depends on artistic credibility and long-term respect, is said to be acutely conscious of that risk. What makes this situation even more compelling is that there has been no public pushback. No cryptic posts. No sources deny rumors headlines. Just silence, and silence, in Kardashian-adjacent news, is rare. That absence of noise has fueled even more curiosity. Because when there's no official storyline, the audience starts creating one. Some fans interpret this as distance. Others see it as discipline. Industry observers note that this dynamic reflects a larger shift in celebrity culture. Younger stars, especially those crossing between prestige cinema and mainstream fame, are increasingly resistant to overexposure. They are watching what happened to earlier generations, how relentless visibility burned out careers, strained relationships, and blurred personal boundaries beyond repair. From that perspective, Chalamet's move doesn't read as avoidance. It reads as intention. Kylie Jenner's role in this cannot be overlooked. Sources suggest she is actively supporting a quieter approach, even if it means resisting familiar patterns. That in itself is significant. For someone whose life has been documented for years, choosing restraint requires conscious effort. It suggests that this relationship is being treated differently, not as content, but as something worth protecting. Still, protection comes with a cost. The Kardashian family operates as a tightly woven unit, professionally and personally. Limiting interaction can naturally create friction, even when no one intends it. Navigating that balance, between respect and distance, inclusion and autonomy, is a delicate process. And every step is happening under a microscope. This is where the story deepens. Because beneath the celebrity intrigue lies a universal tension: how much of yourself do you give to the world, and how much do you keep for the people you love? For Timothée Chalamet, the answer appears to be increasingly clear. Privacy is not secrecy. Boundaries are not rejection. They are structure. As award seasons approach and public appearances increase, the spotlight will only intensify. Each red carpet, each sighting, each non-appearance will be analyzed. But what remains consistent is the message being sent, quietly, persistently, that not every relationship needs to be lived out loud. The payoff of this story may not be a dramatic confrontation or a headline-grabbing reveal. Instead, it may be something far less sensational and far more rare in celebrity culture: longevity. Stability. A relationship that survives precisely because it refuses to perform. and that may be the most surprising twist of all. As audiences continue to watch, speculate, and debate, one truth is becoming harder to ignore. Timothée Chalamet is not stepping away from Kylie Jenner. He is stepping toward a version of love that exists beyond algorithms, ratings, and trending topics. Whether the world accepts that choice is secondary. What matters is that the choice has been made. Now let us know what you think. Is this boundary setting the future of celebrity relationships, or an impossible ideal in today's media landscape? Share your perspective, stay connected for ongoing updates, and follow for in-depth celebrity news that looks beyond the surface and into what really matters. And the story keeps unfolding in ways that feel quieter, yet far more consequential than any public spectacle. As weeks pass, the lack of visible drama has only intensified public fascination. In Hollywood, absence is rarely neutral. When something doesn't happen, people ask why. And in this case, the why has become the headline. Media analysts point out that Chalamet's distance from Kardashian-centered narratives is now being read as a deliberate stance, not coincidence. He is shaping expectations by refusing to meet them. Those close to the situation say Timothee views fame as something to be managed, not indulged. While many celebrities learned this lesson too late, he appears to be acting early. The decision to limit exposure isn't about mistrust or superiority, it's about sustainability. Careers, like relationships, can fracture under constant scrutiny. What complicates matters is that the Kardashian ecosystem thrives on interconnected stories. Each relationship, each appearance, feeds a larger narrative engine. By stepping slightly outside that flow, Chalamet creates a pause, an interruption in the usual rhythm. That interruption forces attention inward, toward the relationship itself rather than the surrounding spectacle. Kylie Jenner, according to multiple insiders, is adapting to this shift more than resisting it. Friends describe her as more intentional, more guarded, less reactive to noise. While she remains deeply connected to her family, there is a growing sense that she is carving out emotional independence. And that evolution, subtle as it is, mirrors Chalamet's approach. Still, the stakes remain high. Hollywood history is filled with couples who tried to outrun media gravity, and failed. Privacy often invites pursuit. Boundaries can be mistaken for secrecy. And secrecy, in celebrity culture, breeds suspicion. Every move becomes symbolic, whether intended or not. Yet, what stands out in this case is consistency. There has been no dramatic pivot. No sudden overexposure to correct the narrative. Just steady restraint. That kind of consistency sends a message louder than any interview ever could. Observers argue that this may signal a larger cultural recalibration. Audiences are increasingly aware of how curated celebrity narratives can be. Authenticity, paradoxically, now feels more believable when less is shown. In that context, Chalamet's boundaries don't feel cold, they feel modern. As conversations continue online, opinions remain split. Some fans worry that distance from family life could strain the relationship long-term. Others believe the opposite, that space is what allows intimacy to survive. The truth, as always, likely lives somewhere in between. What cannot be denied is that this relationship is being handled differently. No dramatic arcs. No public conflict resolution. No performative vulnerability. Just two people navigating fame with intention, even when that intention creates friction. And perhaps that is the real headline. Not that Timothée Chalamet is setting boundaries, but that he is redefining what partnership looks like in a hyper-visible world. He is choosing discretion over access, depth over spectacle. And in doing so, he challenges an industry built on constant revelation. As the media cycle spins on, one question remains unresolved: can a love story survive when it refuses to feed the machine that profits from it? For now, the answer is still being written, quietly, deliberately, away from the noise. and that silence may be the most powerful statement of all. And that silence continues to reshape the narrative in unexpected ways. As time moves forward, what becomes increasingly clear is that this is not a temporary pause or a strategic retreat. Those familiar with Timothée Chalamet's mindset say this boundary setting reflects a long-held philosophy, one that predates his connection to Kylie Jenner. He has always treated his personal life as something finite, something that loses value the more it is consumed. In a culture where oversharing is often mistaken for honesty, restraint becomes a form of self-preservation. The entertainment industry is watching closely. Publicists, producers, and media executives quietly acknowledge that Chalamet's approach challenges the current celebrity economy. Relationships are no longer just personal, they are promotional assets. Appearances drive clicks. Visibility fuels relevance. By limiting access, Chalamet disrupts a system that thrives on predictability. Yet this disruption has not resulted in backlash from within the Kardashian circle, at least not publicly. Insiders insist that the family understands the optics, even if they don't fully embrace the method. The Kardashians are experts at navigating public perception, and they recognize that forcing visibility where it isn't welcome can backfire. Tension, when handled privately, does not always need a public resolution. For Kylie Jenner, this relationship reportedly represents a recalibration of priorities. While her brand remains global and highly visible, her emotional life appears increasingly compartmentalized. Those close to her describe a growing distinction between what is shared and what is sacred. That distinction, once blurry, is now being actively defended. The media, however, is less patient. Every award show sparks renewed scrutiny. Every solo appearance prompts speculation. When Kylie attends family events without Timothee, headlines question absence. When Timothee appears alone on red carpets, narratives fill the silence. The lack of confirmation becomes confirmation for some, contradiction for others. Still, no narrative has gained enough traction to override the facts on the ground. There have been no signs of public strain. No conflicting statements. No sudden narrative correction. Just consistency. And consistency, in celebrity culture, is rare. Pop culture historians note that this dynamic mirrors a growing divide between old model fame and new model fame. The Kardashian brand represents maximal exposure, constant storytelling, and audience intimacy. Chalamet represents selective visibility, prestige alignment, and long-term career insulation. Their intersection forces both models to adapt. This is where the story's tension quietly peaks. Because if these boundaries hold, they may redefine expectations not just for this relationship, but for future high-profile pairings. It suggests that proximity to fame does not require total surrender. That love does not need to be broadcast to be legitimate. That boundaries can exist without drama. The payoff, if it comes, will not arrive as a viral moment. It will arrive as endurance. Months passing without scandal. Years without collapse. A relationship that resists the usual life cycle of celebrity romance. For now, the public remains on the outside, looking in. And perhaps for the first time in a Kardashian-adjacent story, the outside is exactly where it is meant to stay. As speculation continues and theories multiply, one conclusion grows harder to dismiss. Timothée Chalamet is not rejecting the world Kylie Jenner comes from. He is simply refusing to let that world define him, or the relationship he is building within it. And in an industry addicted to access, that refusal may be the most powerful move of all. The story isn't over. It's just unfolding on a timeline the public doesn't control. And as that timeline stretches forward, the meaning behind every quiet decision becomes heavier. What many casual observers miss is that boundary setting at this level is not passive. It requires constant reinforcement. Every invitation declined, every appearance negotiated, every silence maintained is an active choice. According to people familiar with Chalamet's inner circle, he approaches these choices with the same intentionality he brings to selecting film roles. Nothing is accidental. Nothing is impulsive. This mindset inevitably shapes the rhythm of the relationship. Instead of being driven by public milestones, first red carpet together, first family holiday appearance, first joint interview, the relationship is reportedly guided by private markers. Conversations. Alignment. Trust built away from the noise. In an industry addicted to optics, that approach feels almost countercultural. The Kardashian media machine, meanwhile, continues to move forward at full speed. New business ventures, new storylines, new waves of attention. Yet notably, Timothée Chalamet remains peripheral to all of it. Not erased, but not integrated. That distinction matters. It suggests choice rather than exclusion. Some entertainment commentators argue that this separation actually strengthens Kylie Jenner's position. By not folding every aspect of her life into a single narrative ecosystem, she regains a degree of agency. Her identity becomes layered again, not just a public figure, not just a brand, but a person with boundaries others must respect. Of course, not everyone interprets it that way. There are critics who claim this dynamic creates imbalance. That by holding distance, Chalamet risks appearing emotionally unavailable or unwilling to fully commit. In celebrity culture, visibility is often equated with seriousness. If you're not seen, are you really there? This assumption fuels endless debate. Yet those closest to the relationship describe the opposite. They say commitment is measured not in appearances, but in consistency behind closed doors. In showing up when cameras aren't rolling. In choosing stability over spectacle. As months pass without dramatic escalation, the narrative begins to shift. What once felt like mystery starts to resemble pattern. And patterns, once established, change expectations. The audience slowly recalibrates. Silence becomes normal. Distance becomes understood. This is where the story quietly transforms. Because the longer this approach holds, the less shocking it becomes. And in that normalization lies its true impact. It suggests a future where celebrity relationships are not automatically public property. Where access is negotiated, not assumed. Where intimacy is allowed to exist without performance. Hollywood executives have reportedly taken note. Younger talents are paying attention. There is a growing recognition that overexposure is no longer a guaranteed advantage. In some cases, it may be a liability. Chalamet's restraint is being read not as fear, but as foresight. And Kylie Jenner's willingness to operate within that framework speaks volumes. It indicates evolution. Growth. A shift from reactive visibility to deliberate choice. That shift, subtle but profound, may be one of the most significant developments in her public life in years. The tension, however, never fully disappears. As long as fame exists, so will curiosity. As long as curiosity exists, so will speculation. But what has changed is the power dynamic. The story is no longer being dictated solely by headlines. It is being shaped by absence, by refusal, by control. And perhaps that is the ultimate takeaway. This isn't a story about drama avoided. It's a story about narrative ownership reclaimed. About two people choosing to define their relationship on their own terms, even when the world is watching. The ending, if there ever is one, will not arrive on a trending page. It will arrive quietly, over time, revealed only by what does, or does not, happen next. And until then, the silence continues to speak. And the silence, instead of fading, grows more intentional. What's happening now is less about reaction and more about endurance. In celebrity culture, anyone can create distance for a few weeks. Few can sustain it for months without the narrative cracking. Yet this relationship appears to be settling into a long-term rhythm that resists escalation. no sudden reveals. No corrective publicity. Just a steady refusal to over-explain. Insiders describe this phase as the most critical one. Early boundaries are easy to dismiss as temporary. Sustained boundaries become identity. And Timothée Chalamet, by all accounts, understands that once a precedent is set, it shapes everything that follows. He is not testing the waters anymore. He is defining the terms. This approach quietly reframes public expectations. The media begins to ask different questions. Not when will they appear together, but why haven't they, and what does that say? That shift matters. It signals that the relationship is no longer being evaluated by traditional celebrity benchmarks. For Kylie Jenner, this ongoing restraint reportedly reinforces a sense of emotional security. Those close to her say the absence of constant scrutiny has changed the internal dynamics of the relationship. Without external pressure to perform happiness or defend silence, there is room for something more grounded to exist. Still, the Kardashian gravitational pull remains strong. Family loyalty runs deep. Business and personal life are tightly interwoven. Navigating that environment while maintaining autonomy requires constant calibration. Every holiday, every milestone, every private gathering becomes a decision point. Observers note that this balancing act may be the true test. Not whether the relationship can withstand headlines, but whether it can withstand differing philosophies of visibility. So far, compromise appears to be the strategy. Not withdrawal. Not confrontation. Just quiet alignment. As the months stretch on, a new narrative begins to surface beneath the speculation. One that suggests this relationship is not driven by urgency. There is no rush to define it publicly, because it is already defined privately. That absence of urgency is, in itself, revealing. In an industry where timing is everything, moving slowly can feel like defiance. What's especially notable is that neither side has attempted to win the narrative. There is no corrective interview. No curated moment designed to reset perception. That restraint suggests confidence. And confidence, when sustained, tends to outlast curiosity. Cultural critics argue that this may represent a broader fatigue with performative intimacy. Audiences are increasingly aware of how easily emotion can be packaged and sold. In that climate, withholding access can paradoxically feel more honest than constant disclosure. As award seasons cycle and fashion weeks come and go, the pattern holds. Individual appearances. Separate spotlights. No forced convergence. The relationship exists in the margins, untouched by spectacle. And those margins are where longevity often lives. At this stage, the story is no longer about whether Timothée Chalamet is managing Kardashian drama. It's about whether a different model of celebrity partnership is quietly taking hold. One that prioritizes continuity over climax. Substance over moment. If there is a payoff coming, it will not be explosive. It will be cumulative. Built through time, absence, and consistency. A relationship that doesn't burn bright and fast, but steady and controlled. For now, the public remains observers, not participants. And perhaps that distance is the point. Because in a world that expects everything to be shared, choosing not to share may be the boldest narrative decision of all. And that decision continues to ripple outward, quietly but unmistakably. What's becoming evident is that this relationship is unfolding on a timeline that resists disruption. In a media ecosystem trained to escalate stories quickly, the refusal to accelerate has become its own form of control. There is no rush toward validation, no need to satisfy public curiosity with staged moments or symbolic gestures. Instead, the relationship appears to be moving forward through private continuity rather than public confirmation. Sources familiar with the situation describe Timothée Chalamet as increasingly firm, yet calm, about where he draws the line. This is not a defensive posture. It is a proactive one. He understands that once personal boundaries are blurred, restoring them becomes nearly impossible. By setting limits early and maintaining them consistently, he avoids future conflicts that could arise from mismatched expectations. For Kylie Jenner, this phase reportedly marks a personal shift. While her professional life remains expansive and highly visible, her emotional life is being treated with greater discretion. Friends say she is more selective about what enters the public sphere and what remains private. That selectivity is new, and it signals a growing awareness of how visibility can both empower and erode. The media, meanwhile, continues to circle. Analysts dissect body language, timing, and absence with microscopic attention. Every detail is examined for meaning. Yet the lack of contradiction, the absence of reactive storytelling, slowly drains momentum from speculation. Without new fuel, narratives begin to lose their edge. This is where the story takes on a broader cultural significance. Celebrity relationships have long been consumed as serialized entertainment. They follow familiar arcs: introduction, escalation, saturation, collapse. What's unfolding here refuses that structure. There is no clear arc, no dramatic peak. Just a steady line that doesn't bend easily under pressure. Industry insiders suggest this may influence how future high-profile couples navigate fame. The idea that a relationship can exist adjacent to publicity, rather than inside it, challenges long-standing assumptions. It reframes privacy not as secrecy, but as intentional design. Of course, this approach is not without risk. Distance can be misread. Silence can be filled with false narratives. But so far, neither Chalamet nor Jenner appears interested in correcting every misconception. That restraint suggests trust, not just in each other, but in time. As months pass, the initial tension surrounding boundaries begins to dissolve into expectation. The unusual becomes routine. The absence of drama becomes the story itself. And in that normalization, the relationship gains a form of quiet stability rarely seen in the public eye. Observers note that this stability may be the real payoff. Not headlines, not spectacle, but endurance. A relationship allowed to develop without constant interruption stands a better chance of surviving the pressures that have undone so many before it. At this point, the narrative no longer hinges on what the couple will do next. It hinges on what they continue not to do. No oversharing. No forced integration. No public justification. And that consistency sends a message louder than any statement ever could. In the end, this story is not about exclusion or control. It's about authorship. About who gets to decide how a relationship is seen, framed, and understood.